going on, everybody? Welcome to the show. Today we're going to be building in the Corsair 4000D. What is truly amazing that we are going to be building with Corsair's brand new iLink system. Basically, there's one cable to control it all. We're gonna see the big difference between what used to be doing a Corsair build and now what doing a Corsair build looks like, and how, well, their cable management is truly dead because there's not enough cables to basically manage. And so what are we gonna put in today's build? We're gonna be doing a Ryzen 7 7800X 3D. We're gonna be doing the Asus TUF Gaming X670E Gaming plus Wi-Fi, the Asus TUF NVIDIA RTX 4070 Ti. The SSD, we're going to use the WD Black 2TB NVMe SSD. We're going to be using Kingston Fury 32 gigs at 6,000 mega transfer, Corsair 4000D airflow. We've got the Corsair iCUE Link H100i plus their Q X120 fans, and then we've got the Corsair RMX 750X Shift series. So let's start building. Here's what we're fixing. This is the cables that we were dealing with before. So we're gonna start undoing this and we're gonna see how much simpler this whole process becomes when we go to the iLink system. That's all the stuff from here. The rest of this is what used to be the nightmare that was Corsair cabling. Okay, so that's all out now. A lot of cables that we're ripping out because we shouldn't need them anymore. There's all the fans out. This is what we have now for cables. These are the new fans. Okay, there it is. They're already all connected together. So you got your system hub, and then you have your fan cable. And then again, the connections, the way this essentially works is you could just pull these apart. So it just goes like this. Oh, and they're magnetic too. Wow, I did not know that. This is magnetic. So it just goes like this. There you go. And then like this. There you go. And then you take your cable, and then this plugs in right up here, like so. And then this whole thing just goes like this. That's your connection. So that's all it takes to basically do this. So you actually have things like they have 90-degree connectors as well. So they have a 600 millimeter and a 200 millimeter. And then you also they have cable kits, which is like 600, 200, and 100. So if you want to do something shorter, and then you can get a couple of those. So there's a lot of options to even make your cable links even better. Okay, let's get this installed. But remember, where we used to have like literally, 14 cables, now we only have one. Like this is the only cable. There you go. Wow, and these are magnetic, like they even stick to the case. That's pretty cool. And we're gonna run this one single cable, the one connection. That's pretty straightforward. So we went from 10 cables to 3 so far. Now what we wanna do is we wanna figure out where I'm gonna place my hub. Remember the cable mess we had when we started? This is our cable mess now. All we'd have to do to be able to say our fans, all 3 fans are hooked up, is just go like this. And there you go. All 3 fans are now hooked up to the hub. And then we have these connections that have to go in. You got a 3-pin that you have to plug in for your power, and then you also have a USB. Front fans are hooked up, and then those are the only cables I now have to worry about. Pretty crazy when you think about it. Guys, that's pretty rad, right? Like we have 3 fans, there's a single cable that plugs into it. It'll just be 2 cables to this hub, and that's it. So let's start with RAM clicks. Okay, there we go. See if it popped. Oh, it popped a little bit. Nothing crazy, but it did pop. Yeah, 95.6. Okay, here we go. First one right here. 98.5. Crushed it. 97.0. So basically no problem whatsoever crushing either one of those. So this is the brand new Link version of iCUE of the H100. Okay, here we go. Stop, don't forget to view the manual. So you were saying the manual's not up yet. Nope, doesn't work yet. So all I gotta do now is put the Mobo in the case. And again, the only cable that we have right now is in the back. This is everything, like that's it. We got that hub just sitting there waiting, and then everything should be able to hook into that hub. So you have our USB cable, front panel connections go right here, HD audio goes right here. Ooh, this has got 3 USB ports at the bottom. That's awesome. There's all of our cables plugged in for front panel. So now we just need to get them cleaned on the other side. This is called, we're trying extreme cable management here a little bit. See how good we can make this look like it's like there's no zip ties. Okay, let's put our AIO in. There's your thermal paste. It's got a little spread on it. Okay, here's the cables. So what I could do is I could run the fan connection to the back and run that through the top. I'm trying to run only one hub. A little bit of thinking with this. This is to go from here and to plug into here. So this plugs into here like this. And then I'll just want one more cable that plugs up into the top. So there it is, and that's all it takes. Brand new fan type. So this is the QX120 RGB. This is just a single fan. Nice. And then they come with just screws. There are already 2 plugs ready, so it's like made to basically plug together. So I opened the cable kit here. So now all we have is one cable, so we can daisy chain our fans to our AIO, the last cable I gotta connect. So the way I have it, we'll have one hub for everything. So here is where, back here in this corner, you can see it right here. That's where the rear fan is plugged in. So it's basically, there's a single connection plugging into this, and now all these 3 fans are daisy chained. We're gonna use their thermal paste. Very straightforward, and that feels nice. So that's all hooked up. Very, very simple. Like I said, it was like 3 cables to plug in, that's it. So this is the only other cable I'm gonna have to run, which kind of sucks because I just did some cable management. And it does connect down here at the bottom part of the hub, and it plugs in up here. So that's the only other cable I have. Okay, now we just need to run our extensions, and then we're done. It's funny because it's simpler and harder at the same time. I mean, like really, really kind of easy. Now the planning becomes a little bit harder because you have to think about what connectors you might need, and that's the only thing that might be interesting. Okay, time to put in our GPU. There we go, that's in. Brand new product from Asia Horse, the RTX 16-pin sleeved extensions. These are brand new. Just putting our extensions in. So I gotta put the cable combs on, which always takes a little bit of time. It's a clean looking system. It was also a very simple system to put together because of the new iLink system. Okay, 16-pin is in. There's the build finished from the front anyway. All I gotta do is put in the PSU and I'm done. This is our Corsair shift. So we're using all the new Corsair tech. That's what our situation looks like back here, which is not bad. I'm gonna just put this in and see if you can actually not have to install the cables first. We're gonna get crazy up in here. We're gonna test all of the craziness today. Now, if you guys have never seen a Corsair build before, you would know as well as I do, this is not what you're used to. Usually you're used to a cable, especially with what's essentially 6 Corsair fans. That's usually 12 cables plus a hub that has its own cables, plus the AIO that has its own cables. So we're down to what is essentially 1/10 of the number of cables. That's it. So now, and the other thing too is another thing you're used to with what used to be Corsair is you'd plug in your PSU and you'd have to plug in all the cables separately. But in this case, you don't have to do that either. I have 3 zip ties left, and I have 3 places to put them. So I'm going to use exactly the number of zip ties that I was given by the case. That's all I'm using. That's it. That's all the zip ties. There's our build, completely done and ready to go. And we did it in just, 2.5 hours? That's almost an hour plus less time. There is a Corsair iCUE Link cable management job. This is the only cable we essentially have. We'll just go like this. 10, 12. It was 12 zip ties. It was even. Compared to the last build that I did with Corsair, I think we're at like 40 or 50. Depth of zip ties down, 500% or something like that. It's time to turn on the PC. Flipping it on. And power. Woo! Ooh, I like that AIO a lot. And then look at all the additional lighting you get. By the way, the middle of the RGB rings also on the new fans. Man, and they are quiet. And final peel. Boom. Let's get ready to bench, see how this performs. Man, those fans look really good. And there's a lot of light that comes out of there, a lot more than kind of and then the back also looks really good in here too. Super interested to see how this does. Right now we're idling, well that seems wrong. It says at 95. We're at idle. Let's just do a reseat and see if there's something better. I mean, the good thing is there's nothing to unplug. It's like super easy to reseat. So check the CPU you entered. Oh, it says, oh, really? Did I put the wrong CPU in? Oh, well, that might be why too, but I wonder if it was the wrong thing in the wrong box. Yeah, that's a big difference. Yeah, that's a 7700X. It was put in the wrong box. Take that out. Here's a 7800X 3D. Okay, here we go. But it's keeping it in the mid 80s. So after the initial like heat up, that it's keeping it under control. It's actually, the temperature's going down. And it's been running now for 3 minutes, so I don't expect it. I think it'll probably end up averaging out around 84. Look at that, dude, it's actually getting colder. Yeah, the fans are loud, but again, the fans are loud when under load. Like, I don't know if they'll be like this when gaming. Okay, so let's just pop in a game. We're gonna start with Cyberpunk 2077. Okay, so we're gonna settings. Graphics are on ultra, lock full screen, run a benchmark. I'm sitting right next to it when gaming, and there's very little fan noise. Yeah, this is 1440p. Ray tracing, this does have DLSS on balanced, does not have frame generation on. So yeah, Cyberpunk completely playable, no problem. Anyway, guys, that is it for tonight's stream. I super appreciate it. Sorry that I switched the CPU randomly, but all in all, very impressive. If you want to see more about how this performs and all that sort of stuff, head on over to watch the CH510 Deep Cool video. It'll show you performance with other games and all that sort of stuff as well.